Okay, so why am I always harping on time management? Because I have a natural inclination to procrastination. I am like one of the world's best procrastinators. All through high school, I would literally wait until the very last minute to do an assignment, think that it's my best work, and it really isn't. And it's just a problem. I will literally wait until there is like a storm, a chaos storm happening before I do anything about it. And then by the time that I'm ready to do something about it because it's so overwhelming, I literally cannot do anything because I don't even know where to start, and it's such a big mess. So having things like cleaning schedules, laundry routines, planners, family calendars, joint calendars with my husband on my phone, just all these like weird things that I do and that I'm always talking about, always sharing about, is because it's been so life-changing for me, and I know how helpful it's been because I was homemaking, I was being a mom, I was just being a woman, not doing these things, and constantly feeling like I wasn't enough, like I can't keep up, I'm failing, I'm not a good wife, I'm not a good mom, I can't do these things, I can't be a homeschooler, I'm constantly letting things fall through the cracks, like who would ever trust me to do anything? And just like having this terrible negative tape playing in my head all the time. And I feel like there's been things that I have picked up from my mom or from grandparents or women that have played a part in my life. As I grew up, didn't, I wasn't raised by my mom completely, although, she did most of it. I did spend some time with my grandmothers and just like other women, plus being in the church. And you just like, I've picked up a lot because I knew I needed help and I didn't know what to do. So I was literally going to everybody asking for help. So I kind of learned these different tips and tricks over my, experience as a homemaker and a mother from multiple different people. And I feel like everybody kind of has their like one thing that they're super passionate about, and then they like really lean into that. That's like their thing, right? Like they really know a lot about it. But because I'm somebody that struggled so deeply and just really felt so frustrated and less than, like I knew I could be better and do better, I just didn't know how. So I had to do a lot of research. I had to figure this out. And that's why I am always sharing about this stuff, because I don't think it's talked about enough. I think that everybody's like, I don't want to say everybody or that it's super popular. I don't want to like do a, blanket statement. But I feel like there's oftentimes in the mom and homemaker realm, depending on if you're like on the Christian side of things or not, because that can differ, you might get the, it's okay, you're enough, you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to do everything, like, don't worry about it, it's fine, or like, you should do something more than homemaking, stay-at-home moms, like how boring, how lonely, it's just like this not great place, right? Or you have like the Christian side of things that's more delicate in how they're saying things, but it's kind of the same thing of like, you're enough because God's enough, and you just have to do your best, which I totally believe all of those things. However, I also believe that we should challenge ourselves. If there's something that we feel like that we are not, that we could grow in, or that we need to learn more about, or like whatever, I think we should challenge ourselves to learn the things. Like, we may not be good cooks in the kitchen, but we should be challenging ourselves one recipe at a time to get better. We may not be the type of person who's like in love with cleaning, which when you have kids, I'm not, because it's constant. I don't love cleaning up all the time, but I do love a clean house, and so therefore I have to do it, right? Like, means to an end. And so I think that challenging ourselves to learn and to do these things is smart and good, and that's admirable. Like, we don't have to sit there and feel like we're not enough, or we're inept, or we're just never going to be a good cook, or we're just never going to be organized, or we're just really bad with time management, or we're just a procrastinator. Like, what are we going to do? Well, why not learn how to not do those things, right? Why not challenge yourself and put things in place so that we're not struggling. And if you do struggle, like, hear me, I understand, I empathize with you, I get it, I'm compassionate, because that's who I am, and I have to every single day take these steps to do these things, because if I don't, I fall back into it. I've been practicing these different tips and tools over the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years slowly. I've been learning a ton, watching YouTube videos, just trying to grow and learn and then implement, like, but still there are times where, like, if I don't fill out my planner, if I don't use time blocking, if I don't use my 10-minute timer, I can get distracted by all these things that are going on and that pull my attention away from what I need to be doing or what I want to be doing. Not to mention having kids, right? And a husband and, like, just the normal day-to-day stuff. Like, it can pull your attention away. Plus, like, I'd like to hang out with friends. I want to have play dates. I want to go to the movies. And that stuff seems way more fun than cleaning does or meal prepping does. But the thing is like, it needs to get done. And in order for me to feel my best and feel like I'm content with everything, right? I have to do certain things before I go to the movies. I can still go to the movies. I just need to make sure that I am meal prepping, because that really helps me feel content, not be stressed, not be overwhelmed, and therefore I am the best mom, the best homemaker that I can be, because my head is in the right spot and I feel good. I'm not stressed out. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not frustrated by what's not getting done, by what needs to get done, by, just like the daily tasks and things that are constantly running through my head. Because I don't know if you're like me or not. I could just be the only one. I don't know. Let me know in the comments where I can get inside my head. And I'm so consumed with my to-do list. I'm so consumed with the amount of work that needs to get done, or what I'm trying to do, or goals that I have. And then I'm not telling other people what's going on. And then I'm internalizing all of this stuff. And then I say things that I don't necessarily mean. I'm just so inside my head. Like, I'm an internal processor. I need to say things out loud to recognize it. And then when I do, it's almost always regret, because it's like, y'all didn't do anything. Like, I'm not frustrated because of you. I'm not upset because of you. You didn't do anything wrong, but because I'm so overwhelmed and frustrated with what's going on or what's in my head, I just took it out on you. And now I feel gross because I just, yelled or snapped or got frustrated over some dirty something that I just cleaned, because whatever. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily the thing that's actually happening right now. Like, yeah, it's frustrating when I just clean something and it messes it up, right? But I've actually done a lot of training of myself in those situations so that I don't behave like that. I didn't like when my mom was like that. That was something that, when you, I had to, it felt oftentimes like I had to walk on eggshells around my mom, because I didn't know how she was going to respond to things. And so I either didn't tell her and just, like, bottled things up, or it was just like, I just didn't want to say anything. And it really closed my relationship with my mom. Not that we had, I could talk to my mom about a lot of stuff, especially once I was older, but always in the back of my head is, how is my mom going to respond to this? Like, I don't know how she's going to act, and I don't know if this is going to upset her. I don't know if this is going to be bad, and so I don't want to really tell her, because I don't want to upset her, and I don't want that to be like that with my kids. Like, I don't ever want my kids to be upset or scared or worried about coming to me. I don't want them to think like, oh, mom's just going to fly off the hammer. Like, you never know what she's going to do. You don't know what she's going to say. You don't know how she's going to act. Like, I just don't. Welcome to my nutcracker friend. I just don't ever want my children to not feel comfortable talking to me or coming to me or presenting something to me that might be a problem or concern or frustration or worry or whatever. And so I've really had to train myself and practice how I speak and how I react and how I handle things, which was not always the case. Like, obviously, coming from a mom who flies off the hammer and gets angry and just kind of like, you don't know where she's going to land. It's something that you pick up whether you want to have that habit or not. And that's one of those habits that I feel like all the things that are wrong with you are amplified when you have children that start behaving just like you. The things that you don't like the most in your children is usually the things that you don't like in yourself. Same thing with like spouses and all of those potential spouses, boyfriends, all of that. It's like the things that really trigger you are usually oftentimes things that you either struggle with, you find personally you don't like about yourself. And so I just work really hard to I'm trying to create triumph where there is trauma, and I'm trying to heal those things in myself to protect my children from the same trauma, if that makes sense. It doesn't, like, it's just time management tips. So it's just time management skills. It's just like it's not that big of a deal. But for me, time management literally is a big deal because it's the difference of who I was and who I am. It's the difference of me being the best mom, the best wife, the best homemaker that I can be. It's the difference of undoing the things about me that I don't like and being productive and being positive. And like I like all kinds of like scriptures come into my mind because that's what I'm like thinking of. But it just like the things that I don't like about myself don't have to remain. I can do something about it. And just because I am naturally a procrastinator, just because I am naturally somebody who puts things off or is not good with time or gets overwhelmed easy or stressed easy or whatever, like that doesn't have to be my narrative. That doesn't have to be who I am. I can do something about it. And these different things, like just getting my thoughts out on paper or enabling a 10-minute timer or putting what I need to do on a calendar or on a whiteboard where my husband can see so we're on the same page and delegate tasks out to the family members. Those are things that are so simple and take very little time but can make a huge difference in your day, in your life, in your marriage, in your relationships with your kids. Like, it's such a big deal, and that is why I am so passionate. That's why I care so much. And that's why I'm constantly trying to pass this information and share with other people that are struggling with similar things, because I know how life-changing it can be, because it has been for me. And I immediately noticed, because I am somebody who does struggle with some mental health stuff, as far as like anxiety and depression, and like I said, I'm a procrastinator. I have ADHD. Like, there are things that affect me differently than it affects other people. And I don't say that in like a handicap crutch kind of way, but I say that I have this natural way of doing things. I have these things that my natural default position is, and I don't like them, and I want to do something about them. And so I choose to be productive. I choose to challenge myself to be better and do better. Then, like, I don't have to be this. I can be whatever I want. And it's so silly and it seems so trivial and so small. Like, how much of a difference can meal planning actually make? How much difference can having a schedule for cleaning or laundry make? How much difference can, writing your daily to-do list or just have like a brain dump on paper? Like, how much difference can that really make? It doesn't seem like a big deal. Like, I can remember things, I can just make a note, whatever. The amount of stress and weight that it takes off of my shoulders, the amount of overwhelm I eliminate, and the amount of procrastination that I eliminate by just doing these little things that take me maybe like minutes a day or a week to figure out, save me like hours of stress and worry and frustration and feeling down on myself every single week. And so you will never hear me not saying this. You will never hear me, like, this is the biggest thing that's, I mean, besides Jesus, like, aside from my salvation, time management tips, tools have been the greatest influence as far as like me being somebody I'm proud to be, if that makes sense. Okay, these burgers are almost done. I need to flip, so So these burgers are almost done. The fries are almost done. One side of my oven cooks faster than the other, so I had to turn them. But I hope this gives you a good explanation and understanding of why I'm so passionate and why I care so much about time management and why I think that it can be such a blessing for moms and homemakers to instill. If you want to learn more, then make sure to check out my channel. I have a ton of resources and videos talking about different tips and tricks and tools as far as time management goes. If you want to know more about something, let me know down in the comments and I will be sure to respond to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!